Hey everybody, welcome back to Pagan's Witchy Corner. My name is Pagan, and I am joined by Kayla. As always, Kayla, how you been? How's life? How's the family?
I'm good. Life is good. Family's good.
Nice. That's the way we like to hear it. We definitely love that. Last week you got to hear us talk all about shielding, why it was important, and kind of a little bit on how to do it and what to do with it once you have a shield. And hopefully, many of you went and read the lesson, and kind of got some ideas of how to incorporate shielding in your way for your practice. So now we're going to be talking about some of the reflection prompts and some of the things that we do when we're shielding and some of our answers to these questions and why these questions are important. So, the biggest thing is you'll see kind of a common theme of the questions seem like they are geared towards somebody who may have never shielded. That's on purpose because we have a lot of people who are very new to witchcraft in general. So, if you are somebody who has practiced and you're like, I already know what shielding is, okay, well, you don't have to answer it from a right now perspective. Maybe you answer it from a perspective of who you were, which is what we're going to kind of be doing because obviously we shield and we've been doing it for a very long time. So we're going to be talking about some of the things and how some of the situations we've been put in affected our ability to shield and affected our shields. So that being said, some of the stuff we're going to be talking about might be triggering. So proceed with caution. I can't tell you that it will be, and I can't tell you that it won't be, but it will deal with people who we've encountered that, I guess, trauma dumped maybe, and maybe thought more about themselves than other people, and those kinds of scenarios. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. But if those kinds of things do bother you, please listen with caution. And if it gets to be something that feels overwhelming for you, you don't have to listen to it. You can always come into the Discord, read the lesson for yourself, read the prompts for yourself, and all of that. But these are our interactions and our perspectives. So, that being said, the first
Without
question,
further ado,
without further ado, the first question is, what patterns, people, or environments constantly leave me feeling drained? And did I ever stop to ask why? And how can shielding help me hold my power in those spaces? Kayla, I'm going to let you go first this week.
so what patterns and people and environment? So those are all the same thing for me. The patterns, people, and environments are all have to do with my family. So the people and environments are family engagements, family interactions, and things like holiday dinners, things like Thanksgiving meals, Christmas meals, those kinds of holiday engagement um that I still go to because my family does them and it's a chance to get together with them. But I have to still be on guard for those engagements. They would still leave me feeling drained. And before, would I ever stop to ask why? No, I wouldn't stop to ask why. Eventually, yes, I did. And realized why they were draining me. Obviously, why they were draining. How did shielding help me hold my power in those places? I realized that the energy that they put off wasn't my energy to hold. The things that they put off and that they wanted of me weren't my place to hold. And the things that they wanted me to be weren't my place to hold. I am who I am, and that is my place to hold, not what they want me to be. So I could stand tall now and say, I'm in my shield, I'm in my bubble, this is who I am, and I'm protected in my shield, and whatever, what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever expectations you have of me, they just stick to my shield. They don't come any further than that. And they don't get stuck on me.
Mm-hmm.
They just stick to my shield. Does that fully answer the question, I believe?
I believe it does, yes. So, for me, what patterns, people, or environments constantly leave me feeling drained? Family. There's a whole TikTok meme that's out there. It's like, this family makes me want to murder people. No, I'm not actually out there going to do that, but still, like, there's moments where I'm like, are you kidding me? And for the longest time, I didn't hold my own space. I tried to merge with their space. I stopped trying to be who I wanted to be. I wanted to be liked and loved and cared for and respected, but I was never getting that. And that was hard for me. And eventually it came to, I guess, a head where I got to the point where I said, no, enough's enough. I can't do this anymore. And I took some much needed time away and really realized where my sovereignty stood, my autonomy stood, and where I wanted to be. And so I don't know if it's, did I ever stop to ask myself why? I think it's more of, I realized I was worth more than what they were giving me and what they were doing. And yeah, it sucked. It was painful and it was terrible. And I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. But at the same time, it was something I had to do for myself. And, you know, I laugh nowadays and I say that I went out and found my backbone, which is true. I kind of did. But in terms of shielding now I allow my shields to still let me be around those people, but I do not have to cater to their energy. I don't have to force myself to be comfortable. I have learned that no is a complete sentence. And that I deserve the same respect that they are asking me to give to them. But instead of me asking it to be given to me in a way that is deserving of my sovereignty and autonomy, they're asking it from a place of control, where I'm not asking it from a place of control. I'm asking it for a place of respect and, like I said, autonomy. And that kind of chaps their ass a little bit. But, you know, it's what's best for me. And it took me a long time to get there. It took me a long time to understand that. It took a lot of therapy to get there. And now I can say that I am much more my own person than I was when I was trying to be the person they wanted me to be, which was constantly breaking me. And I it wasn't just draining me, it was literally breaking me till I was a shell of a person, and I couldn't do it anymore. Eventually I hit that breaking point, to the point where I was like, this is either me or I'm just not going to exist. Like, I have to fight for me now, otherwise I'm just not going to exist anymore. And not in like a trigger warning suicidal way, in more of just a, I will never get to be the person I'm trying to be, because they're emotionally killing that person. And so I had to fight for myself. And so I did. And it was one of the hardest and best decisions I ever made for my life. And now, you know, kind of coming back into that space after, again, much therapy and many conversations and a lot of boundaries, I now know that I can't let my shield down around them, because there's a very good likelihood that that old mindset may just slip right back in. And it's not so much that I'm over warding myself or over shielding myself. I just know what it was like when they didn't seem to respect that. And they respect it more now than they did before. But like I said, it still chaps their ass a little. So
yeah,
you know, it is what it is. So yeah, I think that's my answer. Did I answer it? I think I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of, you know, why we chose that question, was it makes you think about where your energy is actually going and who's really contributing to what is happening with your energy. And it's really a tough point to think about, because sometimes we don't want to think about where our energy is actually going, because it's easier to stay in the dark. So that question kind of,
it's easier to not look.
Yeah, it yanks you out of the dark a little bit, and that's why we chose it. And it's tough. As we get deeper into the lessons, these questions will get tougher, and they will get a little more bitey. Not because we're trying to be mean, but because eventually you will be dealing with energies that bite back. And so you need to understand where your energy sits and your shadow sits, so that way if something does bite back, it's not being used against you. So that being said, moving on to the next one. When was the last time I walked away from a conversation or a place feeling heavier than when I arrived? And did I assume that weight was mine? Do you want me to go? Do we want to flip-flop this time?
It's up to you.
Let's flip-flop. We haven't done that before. So, okay. Changing it up for the audience. This is one of those ones where there might be some trigger warnings. So just as a heads up, everybody. When was the last time I walked away from a conversation or a place feeling heavier than when I arrived? Recently. Several months ago. There was an individual who was in our lives who, overwhelming is nice. It's the nicest term I have. And it was because it was very difficult for them to see outside of their situation. And they would come into voice chats with us all the time. So much so that the moment we would see them in voice chat, or at least I would, and I won't speak for Kayla, but I'll speak for myself, it was very draining. Straight out the gate, before they even said hello, because I knew what was coming, because it never changed. It was the same thing every day. It was
over and over.
My life is terrible. Everything is awful. Trauma dump, trauma dump, trauma dump. And even though we had said, before you do that, please ask if we're in the mindset to do that, Well, they did the first couple of times, but eventually just stopped asking, even when we tried to enforce it, and they just skipped over it. They overrode our kindness and assumed that because we were, especially me and Kayla, because we were our priestesses, that us being in service meant that we have to listen, that we have to be there, that we have to put forth all of this effort to make them feel better. And eventually, after a very long several months of this, I was getting to the point that it wasn't just feeling heavier, and it wasn't that I knew the weight wasn't mine, but because I cared about this person as a human being, their stress was becoming mine. Their worries were becoming mine. Their concerns were becoming mine. And I got to the point where, you know, as Kayla and I do, we do vent to each other. And we both were expressing the same thing of going, I don't know how to deal with this. I can't figure this out. I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed out, and it's not even mine. And I don't know how to deal with that. And it wasn't even so much the shielding aspect. It was just constant bombardment that my shield couldn't hold all of it back. And
mine was, we're going to overlap here because we're going to end up talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Is mine wasn't so much taking on the stress of this person because I knew it wasn't mine. I knew that it wasn't mine to hold, but it was the constant issue, the constant daily or every other day. Okay, here we go again. The constant, every time we speak to this person, we're going to have the same conversation. Even though we've tried to help, even though we've tried to give you a solution, or we've tried to, you know, hold space for you, or we've tried to do all of the things that are in our arsenal of things to do, there was no reciprocation of, okay, you've given me all of these things that I can do, now let me go and do them. There was no let me go and do them. That's where I was getting frustrated.
And that's not to say that we were not saying go do them or we were holding them back, by the way. That's just,
no,
they were choosing not to.
And that's not to say that someone that comes to us for advice has to do everything we say.
No.
But there was no actionable thing. There was no, hey, I don't want to do what you do, but I have this other great idea. Let me go and do that.
Mm-hmm.
There was no movement whatsoever. And that's where I was getting frustrated. So it was just, let me just wallow in my pity. Let me wallow in this moment and let me stay there. And I was just stuck, and my shield was being bombarded in the wallow.
Yeah.
If that makes any kind of sense. You're just constantly bombarded with the wallow, and I hate that.
And, you know, there's nobody saying that you can't, like, have moments to wallow in anything, just for the record. Like, we're not saying that we have moments where we wallow. But the wallow is a time frame. It's a moment when you're allowing yourself, okay, I'm going to feel this to my fullest extent. I'm going to have these emotions. I'm going to, you know, let myself deal with all this. And in the process of that, you're allowing yourself moments to work through it. Now, the difference between that wallow and the wallow that we were experiencing with this individual was the wallow was a year.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was very difficult for us to do that. And so eventually when we had to say, I we can't help you because you don't seem to want our help. And that was a very tough decision because this person was a friend of ours. This was a person who we cared about. And who said, okay, well, if you don't want to be there for me as a friend, can you still be there as a priestess? And the answer ultimately was no. And that's one of those moments where when you think about service doesn't mean you're a doormat either. It means that you are there to your ability. But when something goes past your ability, you don't get to just become a doormat for somebody to override that and say, oh, well, you're in service, so you must do this for me. Nope, that's not the case. Being in service to somebody means that you are giving what you can when you can and helping out with the knowledge and resources you have available. That's the meaning of being a priestess, but it was something that we just couldn't do. And so eventually we had to part ways from this individual. And it was one of those things when the wallow stopped, even though it was very difficult because it was a very sad situation for us, because again, we cared about this person deeply. But when it stopped, it allowed our shields time to recover and heal. And in those moments, you really got to kind of see how much you were still taking on, even shielded.
Yeah.
And how much you were also allowing your autonomy, your sovereignty, your power, and your personal boundaries to be violated at the expense of trying to help someone. And that was very
difficult. And it took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while to come back to a state of normalcy, to a state of, okay, everything's back to my baseline after that interaction.
Yeah. It was almost like, if you wanted to put like an energetic visualization on it, it was almost like having to restitch our shields thread by thread.
Yeah.
It took a while to come back from that. So, did you answer fully, or?
I mean, everything that we've said, I didn't assume the weight was mine, but I knew that that weight had gotten all over me.
Yes.
All over my shield. And I kind of, if you can imagine, go with me here. We're going to go on a Kayla ride. Imagine being in one of those fancy car washes and you're inside the car is your shield, and you go through the part where all the bubbles get all over the car.
All the pretty colored bubbles.
Yeah. But the pretty colored bubbles are the gunk.
Right.
And you can't see anything in any direction, but you can kind of see the light through the bubbles.
Yeah.
The bubbles are the gunk, and the car is the shield, and you're just sitting in there going, I know there's light out there somewhere, but I can't see it.
Right. And I want to also, because we talk about, hey, do your spiritual hygiene. We were doing spiritual hygiene probably 2, maybe 3 times a day, trying to get the gunk off, and trying to do that to the point that eventually the only thing we realized is we have to walk away from this, because it's not safe for us anymore. And it truly was not becoming safe. It was actually getting to borderline into a place where we genuinely were starting to worry about our safety, mental safety, and all of that. And it really became a point where we didn't know a little bit how to get out of it at first, and then eventually it was just like clean break.
Yeah, we
you gotta
really
walk away out.
didn't.
Yeah, you just gotta walk away.
We really didn't know how to get out of it at first. And when it came down to it, it was like you really just have to wipe your hands of the situation. You just have to go through that car wash and let the spray wash everything off
Mm-hmm.
and come out the other side and be done with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, we've had other situations like this too. But that was probably the most recent and most difficult one. And
Yeah.
it was something that, you know, still left almost some scars on us a little bit.
Yeah.
There was,
Made us a little bit more wary.
yeah, and it ended up, I mean, there was damage done to us as well after the fact. But we won't get into that. But um it was definitely one of those situations where you get to that point and you're just like, wow, okay, I can't do that again. I really
Yeah.
can't do that again. Like, there has to be, we learned, I guess, some boundaries as being priestesses in those moments too, of
Yeah.
this is as far as we can reasonably go, and we can't go past this point because we will start breaking ourselves if we do. And
Yes.
I kind of feel like our deities were trying to tell us that the whole time, but you know,
Yeah.
we're stubborn. We didn't really listen. We're like, nah, we're fine. No.
Hindsight being what it is, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Hindsight being what it is. So it was a tough situation. And I'm sure that, you know, those who are listening, if you've made it this far and haven't hit a trigger warning, which I'm so sorry if you did, and I apologize, but if you've gotten to that point, you probably have dealt with something that maybe has been similar for you. And
yeah,
sometimes the only way to get out of that isn't, you know, how many times can I cleanse? It's how can I walk away? Because some scenarios are not meant to serve your highest good. And in that scenario,
some are just a teaching lesson.
Yeah. And in that scenario, that was one of ours. It was, that person was not here for our highest good. And we were not, as much as I think they wanted us to be there to help them for their highest good, we couldn't.
I don't think we were there for their highest good in the end.
Yeah. So there's that.
As much as it pains me to say that,
right,
I don't think we were there for their highest good in the end.
I know. I've always told because everybody. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think everything that we tried to do to help was helpful, yes, but I think it was hindering their growth.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things that they had to learn it on their own without somebody else there to you know, hold it up for them and
hold
tell them.
Hand.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, I've always told everybody, like, I may not be your cup of tea, but I'm somebody else's cup of tea. And so it applies to the highest good as well. Like, I may not be your highest good, and that's okay. That's fine. Somebody else might be yours, you might be yours, and that's okay too. But I will definitely be there to help somebody, and that's okay. And if I help one person in my lifetime, then it was worth it. And that's not from a vain perspective at all. It's I understand that I came into this with a calling, and if I get to do one act of service as a priestess, then I feel like my job's fulfilled. And I'm already past that, but even then I still feel that way. Because sometimes I'm like, are you sure you picked the right person for the job? Like, okay, I'm doing it, but alright, whatever. But I guess moving on to the next question is, if my energy had a front door, would I know who's been walking through it? And would I even know it was open? if my energy had a front door. Oh, this is Kayla's turn. My bad. We're flip flopping. Nope. I'll
Go
shut up
for
now.
it.
No. We flip flop.
Ah!
I go by the rules mostly.
Mostly. If my energy had a front door, I'm gonna go currently. I would know who was walking through it. Past life? Heck no. Hell no. I wouldn't have known who was walking through it. Anybody could have come through day or night. That thing would have been a swivel door. It would have been one of those swivel doors like is on the kitchen in like mainstream galley kitchens.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a swivel door. Now, yes, I know who's walking through it, and I know who they are, where they're going. I know who's going through it. Do I know it's open? Yes. Past me? Hell no. Didn't know there was a door there. Didn't know it was a swinging.
If mine was a front door, had a front door, would I know who's been walking through it? Probably same answer. Probably past me. No. Current me, mostly yes. And I say mostly yes because if I am overwhelmed and all that stuff and I've got a lot on my plate, sometimes I just don't even realize that stuff has come through, and then it's like, oh, when the hell did you get here? And it's like the door was open. It's like, oh, get out. It's like, how did you get past, my defense is like the door was unlocked. Yeah. Can I relate most of my life to memes? Probably. I'm a millennial. But now for the like I said, unless I'm like super overwhelmed or any of those moments, do I know who's been walking through it? Yeah, definitely. Would I know that if it was open or unlocked? Mostly, yeah. And I would like to say that I am always, keeping an eye on things, but I have been in this perpetual state of liminality for like the last 4 years because of this whole, housing and moving deal that, I've talked about in a couple of previous episodes. And that really kind of makes life very overwhelming to the point that I'm like, how do I function? Can I function? Is this something I can do? And it's a lot to take into play. And so when I have all those things on my plate, sometimes spirituality gets pushed to the back burner, and so my own energy and my own stuff gets overwhelmed. I will remember to shield, but it will be like 5 minutes too late kind of thing. And so it happens, but I do still try. Even if I'm like, oh, I should have done shielding this morning. Crap, it's 3:00 in the afternoon. Well, I'm doing it now. Well, better late than never, I guess.
And I bet it's hard too to be such a liminal state and be like, what do I shield?
Right. Yeah.
How do I shield when I'm such a liminal place?
And it's, I tell everybody, it's kind of like being a racehorse in the stall, but you're waiting for the bell to ring. And you know that you're going to be doing the race. You know you're going to be doing the thing. And like all you want to do is run and do the things. And you can't because you're stuck in this gate and you can't do anything. It's awful. As somebody who is a let me go do the thing kind of person and is very ambitious on a good day, I'm not somebody who can sit still very well on a good day, and that's part of the ADHD, but that's also part of just me of let me go do something, anything. And I've had to take that very anxious energy and go apply it other places. Like I wrote a gaming handbook because I had so much energy in
It's
my brain. It's huge. It's like 372 pages. It's amazing.
It's amazing, though.
It is. It's brilliant and amazing, and probably one of the greatest things I've ever done. But that came out of the fact that I'm in this hurry up and wait stance. Things are moving forward just at a snail's pace, and it's driving me nuts. So sometimes when I'm like, okay, cool, I could absolutely put this into like spirituality, but I'm pretty sure that I would annoy my deities with how much energy I've got going through my brain. I'm sure my deities would be like, girl, calm down. Like, chill. Everything is going to be fine, but chill out. And it's like, I can't. Give me something to do. Give me a project. I will do that project. You want a temple built? I will go build you a temple right now. Give me the go. That's my brain normally. So like when you hear about all the stuff that like we do in the temple and that we write Leeds lessons and we do the podcasting, and that's just one avenue of my life. Just one. I have like 12 others. And I kind of am so excited because when we do move, about 60% of my stress is just going to disappear, which is great. Like, I am counting the days, literally. I cannot wait till that happens, because then I told my husband, I said, once we get everything moved into the house, whether or not it's unpacked, I said, I'm probably going to lay on the floor and cry. Yeah. And he's like, why? And I said, because we've been fighting this for so long, and I've been amped up for so long, and I just, yeah, eventually it's probably just I'm gonna ugly cry on the floor.
And once she gets moved in and settled, her brain is just gonna be so wired and so focused, and I'm gonna be going, Pagan, slow down, I can't type that fast.
You do that now.
I know, that's the problem. I do that now.
Well,
and then she's gonna be going, well, type faster.
I mean, the good news is too, like, once because I don't have the bandwidth to do things like cosplay right now, because that's really big. Once I move, sure, I will have all the bandwidth for that. So Caleb will not have to type so fast, because I will be off doing things in costume. But yeah, that's a big part of it too. So, bringing it back to, shielding, having to do all of that. Probably Kayla has to shield a little bit from me, because I have a lot of energy normally. And I try to keep it pretty well reined in and not like overwhelm people, but I think I still do sometimes. And not intentionally in a harmful way, just I'm one of those just get out of my way and let me do it kind of people, and I will do the thing. Yeah, I might be a little bit of a control freak. I know it. I'm fine. My therapist and I talk about it. Just get out of my way and let me do it.
Let me do it.
I mean, that was kind of like, my daughter-in-law asked me, she goes, well, do you want help unpacking and stuff? And I said, nope. Just get out of my way and let me do it. I already have a system. Thank you. I've had the system for a year in my head. Get out of my way. I've had no time to sit still, or all I've had time to do is sit still and plan stuff and think about stuff. And I can tell you all the way down to where stuff goes on the walls at this point, because I have floor plans to the house, so I know what everything looks like. It's just, I have too much energy. So yes, I put it into a lot of creative projects. I do a lot with it. But sometimes I get overwhelmed by still having that much energy and that much stuff going on, and my brain is that busy all the time that sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a witch. I should do the things. That's important.
I think when the actual concrete slab goes in for the floor of the house,
the foundation, yeah.
The foundation of the house goes in, Pagan's probably gonna start doing like wards for the house that day.
Honestly, yeah.
Wards and shields for the house that day.
Truthfully, yeah. Like, I think you and I talked about this. For example, like, I've had the 2020s have kind of sucked for me having pets. I've lost 3 dogs since 2020.
Yeah.
And I had spell protection bottles that were in place that hung on my walls where I kept their dog leashes. And they worked until basically it was their time. And so I said, what do I do with them? You know, the dogs are gone. Well, one of them is her ashes is sitting on my desk next to me. Because we just got them like a week and a half ago. And so that the other 2 were buried on the property. Which I'm actually going to ask our developer. I'm like, hey, if you find any of those bones, can I have them back? Those belong to me. Which
Those
is probably
belong to
very
me.
morbid, but also like he's come to expect that from me and just rolls with it. Thank goodness. But also at the very same time, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. So we talked about like, what do I do with these spell bottles? You know, do I bury them? What should I do with them? One of them I've had for 16 years. So like, what do I do with it? And I think it was you, Kayla, that said, take them and dump them when they're getting ready to do the foundation. Just go dump them right where they're going to put the foundation. So they're already with you. And I'm like, that's a really good idea. I gotta just get permission to do that. Even though it'll be I'll ask my developer when we go close here in a couple weeks, but
be like, can I do some weird thing that
it won't
doesn't
affect
make
your
sense
building,
to you,
but can I do
I
this
really
weird?
want to do this weird thing, please? Thanks.
I also kind of want to ask him.
How some people want to put their handprints in their foundation? Can I do this?
I was going to ask him, like, hey, can I put, runes in my foundation? Like, that would...
Ooh, that's a fancy idea.
That is a fancy idea, ward my house with the runes I would normally ward with and just put them in my foundation. I'm probably going to weird some people out that way, but that's okay. I can't tell you how many times I've asked my developer, hey, this is a weird witchcraft thing. Can I do this in the neighborhood or are the HOA going to yell at me? And he's like, I don't think they would yell at you, but okay. And I'm just like, just roll with it. It's fine.
Just go with it.
The weird conversations you have when building a house.
Just if you want to shield something weird and do something strange, just ask your HOA. It'll be fine.
Yeah. The good news is,
just be like, I have this weird thing I want to do. Is it okay? Yeah. It'll be fine.
Mostly,
don't take advice from me. Yeah. I have no say. I have no HOA. Do not take advice from Kayla.
I mean, I asked my developer because, he's one of the, overseeing heads of the HOA and all that because the developers can override the HOA. And so I'm like, can I do this? Are they going to get mad at me? And he's like, I don't think so, but let me find out. And he's like, also, I've had the same HOA company running my HOA, like where I live. And he's like, I gutted a deer in my driveway. I think you're going to be fine. And I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. He's like, I parked on my front lawn. Like, don't even worry about it. And I'm like, okay. Like, what do you even say to that?
What do you say to that?
Sorry, we went off on a total wild tangent, and I'm sorry, but yes, if my energy had a front door, would I know who's walking through it? Mostly. Will I when I move? You bet your ass I will. There's my answer. This is just a few of the questions. There's more questions in the lesson itself. If you'd like to know them or like to do them yourself, you'll have to come into the Discord and you will have to read the lesson, participate in it, do the practice, and do the reflection prompts, and walk the tempering path with us because we would love to have you there. And everything about
you want more tangents like this,
come join the Discord. This is a daily occurrence every day. And I know I said it last week, but I'm going to say it again, just for those who are new and all that. bear with us while I'm in this transitional process, because there will be a couple of less episodes a month. There will be, some less events going on. There will be no audio meditations until after I move, because I just don't have the bandwidth for them. And mainly because they take hours to edit, and I just don't have the hours to spare right now, because I've got so much going on my plate. So they will be there retroactively, maybe by Christmas, maybe, depending on how many there are between now and then. And I will get them up there. If they are not on Spotify, they will definitely be on YouTube for sure. So just as a heads up. But
just give us a little time.
Give me some time. Bear with me. Kayla is always around in the Discord for the most part. I am mostly around. Again, I'm
around.
Busy. So
I'm waving at you like you can see me.
I do that every time we end an episode. I'm like, goodbye, and I wave at nobody can see me, but I do it anyway. I've done it for 7 years, and you'd think that I would know better by now, but no, I still do it every time. Because I'm a weirdo, and a wonderful weirdo at that. So there will
feel the waves.
Yes, feel the waves. There's also going to be some different content that has nothing to do with witchcraft coming eventually to the YouTube as well, that will feature Kayla and a few other people. So stay tuned, because it's gonna be awesome, and has to do with that really big project that I wrote 372 pages of. So it'll be fun. In the meantime, join the Discord. We will see you there. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other in this crazy world. I think I forgot to tell you all that in the last episode, because my head is a space cadet. But be kind to yourselves in this crazy world. Drink your water, take your meds, eat your food, and do all the good things, and make sure you shield yourself. And we will see you all next time for another episode. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.